You know, I've sat back and I've said many days on when I do these commentaries, I said that some of our people don't see the bigger picture. Some shit goes right over our people's heads, and then when we realize what happened, a lot of times months, days, years, decades have gone by. We gotta understand that black men are the most hated men on the planet. Now I know people think that we be exaggerating this, but it's true. We're the most hated men on the planet. And if you watch the news, watch how how they treat us on at work or at school, the legal system, even when it comes down to relationships. It's amazing that we've survived as long as we have. But I really do think that the last 20 years they found the key to destroying our community, and a lot of it we gladly do on behalf of white supremacy. Now, I don't speak in absolutes, and I ain't gonna lie to you. It's days I find it hard not to. But when you kind of see a drumbeat of attacks against our people over and over again, and then you see black folk sit back and allow or join in with, you say, "What's the use?" Now, when Bill Cosby gave that speech about how some of the people that our community are acting, a certain group of black folk got mad, and white folks recognized that. And they purposely said, "Bill, you gave a speech." Now, when Bill gave that speech, that was among a predominant group of black folk. White folks wasn't there. He was talking to Reverend Jackson. That was a predominant group, but some Negro or some white person under the guise of journalism went in there and they said, "Oh, Bill Cosby's talking to black people about responsibility." And when Bill Cosby and Alvin Passant, the name you see at the end of the Cosby Show, in his later projects, the Dr. Alvin Passant, the professor, the one that go with script advisors and all that stuff with him with certain subjects, they wrote a book together. And naturally, when you write a book, you go on these press junkets. And you want a wide ranging audience to do it. Unfortunately, we don't go to the library and read like we supposed to, or go to the bookstore like we supposed to. So what did Cosby do? They had to branch out and go out to a wider audience. Because if black folks read and supported black books and newspapers like we used to, it wouldn't matter if a white person read it or not. You notice it's not made back before the Kindle and all the note and all that stuff came out. There was never a truly large number of black bookstores in our community. You had to go to and if it was a black bookstore in the neighborhood, there was in certain cities or there were neighborhoods that most people didn't have access to. And we got to be honest with that. And this is done on purpose, keep us deaf, dumb, and blind. But anyways, he went on a book tour. And white folk love throwing what we say to our own people back in our face. Unfortunately, Bill Cosby entered the grandpa stage of his life. And he was talking about, and if you go back and listen to the interview, he wasn't shitting on the black community. He was talking about there's issues that need to be addressed. And he talked about systematic racism. But he said also the people who know what they're doing, a lot of them, then they try to fall back on racism and say you can't do that. And I've said the same thing. Mr. Farrakhan said the same thing. Dr. King, Brother Malcolm, everybody. And said you can't do dirt and then say, "Oh, the white man." Nah, you went out there, you knew what you was doing, you didn't listen. Now you want a certain group of black people to come in and save you, and that's what's been happening with the black church. Every time one of our brothers and sisters get in trouble, and you know damn well that you don't need an expert to figure out, like, yeah, he and she fucked up, they fucked up. Instead of saying, "Hey man, you got to suffer the consequences," we go in and say it's white supremacy. We know that. This is why I say when they're children, you explain to them how this world works. Instead of just sitting there and saying, "I hope they get it or figure it out as they grow." It doesn't work that way. We don't have time. The society is moving too fast. Technology is moving too fast. Things are happening at breakneck speed that didn't happen 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years ago. If you told me 30 years ago when I was a kid that we have wireless phones that you can hold up to your ear and have many computers, you think of some Star Trek shit, Star Trek Next Generation shit. And now this is our reality. What's the world going to be like if we have a world and when I get a certain age or when I leave this plane of existence? What's it going to be like for successive generations? We as black people got to understand that we are our brothers and sisters keepers, whether we like it or not. Now I know there's times where I sit there and say, you know what, you can't help some people, and there's gonna be some people where we're gonna have to let fall by the wayside because they don't listen. But when Cosby said what he said, white people, well, Bill Cosby said this about the black community, and y'all regurgitated it over and over again. Because I remember when I initially heard them talking about this, I said, why is Cosby talking about the black community the way he is? Excuse me, my ex-girlfriend said, Harvey, no, 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 no. She said, I heard the speech. She said, you of all people need to not listen to what the media said as much as you've been telling me to be careful about it. And I said, you know, you're right. So I went and listened to the speech, and I said, what he said makes sense. But when they asked Reverend Jackson, Reverend Jackson got kind of nervous. And he didn't defend Cosby like he should have. But back in the day, both of these dudes were defending each other. But it seemed like we get older, we either get relaxed or we get scared. And we usually get scared because I have to admit there are times when I talk to my father, the guy that told me how to do certain things, watch things, he's in grandpa age now. And he's sort of like, don't do that. They're gonna do this to you. They're gonna do that. I'm like, wait a minute. Then I wonder, are they flashing back to when they was kids? When they fathers and grandfathers had the yes sir, no sir, and they think and they see what's going on around us, and they're afraid that we're gonna be by ourselves. And I can understand it to a certain degree. But at some point, we as black people, especially heterosexual alpha black males, gotta say enough is enough. Now, Bill Cosby, like any other, let me say that. Let me be careful how I phrase this, because not all wealthy men cheat on their girlfriends or their wives. Bill Cosby, like any celebrity, male or female, have had people approach them for sexual favors, sexual encounters. Now we do know Cosby did admit to cheating on his wife when that came out, when that chick came out in the 90s, said that she was Cosby's daughter. When they did a DNA test to prove she wasn't. The cat was out the bag. That was the time that any woman that had any negative contact with Cosby could have got him, especially a white woman, because he just admitted to cheating on his wife. So they could have said, well, damn, no, I slept with Bill Cosby. He did this to me. They didn't, because it didn't happen. Because y'all can't say Cosby had power, because if he had power, that white woman, that black woman who claimed Cosby was the dad would have never did what they did, and the media would never respond. So that was when he was at his weak point, and right along when his son was murdered. You could have got him. Hell, you could have got him at the beginning of the Cosby Show. He wasn't that wealthy. He was wealthy, but not that wealthy. This is why I want y'all to use logic, okay? Now, a lot of y'all forget over the years, there have been white folk that always said the Cosby Show was not realistic. They would usually compare Good Times to Cosby, and I think that's why a lot of blacks jump back to Good Times. And I'm going to be honest with you, Good Times is not a realistic depiction at times of the black life. Yeah, during the 1970s and 60s and 50s, were there blacks that lived in housing projects? Yeah, but not all. My parents didn't grow up in no housing projects. I had some family members. That was a small group of family members that grew, but they didn't act like they was living paycheck to paycheck. Sometimes that's where you had to find a place to live. They had no other opportunities because they had us in a box. Everybody talk about James being a strong father, yeah, but y'all make like every episode he was yelling and calling his kid, his oldest son, dumb. That was a TV show. Matter of fact, that's the reason why they got rid of John Amos. He said he was tired of the writing that way. Because if you watch the original shows, they didn't write JJ like that. Because Eric Monty, who's from Chicago, who wrote Cooley High, and Michael Evans, the real Michael Evans, who played Lionel Jefferson on the Jeffersons, wrote those initial stories. Look at the tone for the first season, then into the second and third, and all the way to the last season of the show. It was totally different. But Cosby, when he created the Cosby Show, he wanted to show two-parent household, professional black parents, where they didn't act that way, because there are black families where people don't act that way. If you watch the Unsung Hollywood, they talk about what's happened. Ernest Thomas, who played Raj on What's Happening, was initially the show was going to be a Coolie High. It was called Coolie High, the TV series, but they thought it was too deep. They didn't want that type of show. They wanted to see us in a comedy. They didn't want to be. They didn't want to be too deep, so they wanted us a slapstick comedy. But the writers didn't make it super slapstick. That's why you can watch What's Happening and not feel offended as a black person. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's hard watching these shows from the '70s and not nitpicking so much. But what's happening wasn't. But what happened was they said that they picked Mabel King and they from A Broken Home. They even Ernest Thomas said they wish they would have gone a more family route. The family instead of showing the black mother who's domestic. They even said it. They said we didn't have to make her domestic. They played it to a stereotype. What's that show? That's My Mama. They played into these stereotypes. If you notice, back in the day, all the black women that was on these shows were mothers. They was overweight or older than what the men they was with, or they played the sort of like almost a mammy type role. And when Cosby came along and changed that, it pissed a lot of people off. They wanted a good time slash That's My Mama slash Give Me a Break type show where we run around acting like coons. And Cosby wouldn't do that. And when I was a kid, I appreciated it, but then I heard other blacks criticize it. I'm like, yeah, Cosby keeping it real, which my father correctly said no. He said, do we act like that? Do we run around the house acting stupid? Or would we act more like the Huxtables, right? I'm like, yeah. He said, and I realized what Cosby's doing, but I still had some criticism that he could have did some episodes that addressed certain issues. But I guess Cosby realized he was making money. He said, I'll do it another way. And he was smart to say, okay, let's get Lisa Bonet. She was popular among a certain group of young men, put in a spinoff, trying to give that woman a chance, the young woman a chance, but she pissed it away. She didn't want it. And he knew that he couldn't go in a different world hard hitting. So he said, Debbie, I want to talk about black life. I want to talk about black college. I want to focus on things that affect the community. And that's when different world tone changed. And I think for the better. When they did the song about different world, you found out the NBC was fighting Cosby and Debbie Allen every step. So how can y'all say that Cosby is a coon? Mr. Cosby went into his pockets, him and his wife, went into their pockets. They could have said that I made this money, this is for me and my family. He said, be damn everybody else. He gave money to the civil rights movement. He did more. Him and Hillberry Fonte and Dick Gregory did a lot for the movement. You had some blacks give a little here and there, but they put their money where they mouth. And Cosby was on that crossover success. And any time he could have got burnt. But Cosby said, I'm going to do this. Dick, you do that. We play our lanes. Cosby took that success from being a stand-up comic into TV. He made history with I Spy. He said, let me go do my own show, The Cosby Show. Not the Cosby, not the Cosby Show, the Bill Cosby Show, excuse me. He went to I forget what other studio before it was Filmation, and he created Fat Albert. He said he wanted to educate. Remember, it was before I think right after before Dr. King, he was doing stuff about civil rights. So you fast forward now, if you have a generation or two not familiar with Mr. Cosby history, of course you're going to attack him based on what white folks say. But I told y'all when that whole thing with Trayvon Martin happened, and even though Cosby was still trying to tell our people we need to be careful, he was in old man territory, dulling around. They got to give him cover. But I told you, I said they're gonna go after Cosby regardless what he said about anything because he was the next big get. Michael Jackson was dead. They got his empire. O.J. Simpson in jail. Who other besides Cosby is the next big get? Quincy Jones. They ain't fucking with Quincy. Quincy got too much dirt. You know how the bodies are buried. That's why they let Quincy Jones. They ain't fuck with Quincy Jones. You know they'll fuck with Quincy Jones. Who's next? They've been trying to go after Will Smith and his wife. They tried to go after Dwayne Wade and Gabrielle Union, remember? They've been trying to get Jay-Z and Beyonce, but at some point they're gonna get them. They've been making they dry run, but they said, who can we go out? Who would be the next person that would just devastate the image of Black America? Go after Bill Cosby. That man sent all the millions of dollars. That man go on Arsenio Hall that night. They saw him sitting on Arsenio news show. They got spooked. Uh-oh, the old man coming back to TV. They go to Netflix. Uh-oh, we can't have him. We can't have him do this the third time. Come in and change television. We can't risk it. People still watching the Cosby Show and reruns. We can't risk it. What do? Hey, Judd. Yeah, we need you to write some jokes about Bill Cosby. I can't stand that nigger. He write it for Hannibal Buress. Hannibal goes in his hometown. Yeah, Bill Cosby started pulling up his pants. He's a rapist. Bill Cosby gave that speech 2000, 2003. You wait to 2014 to start saying something. But prior to that, they was doing dry runs mentioning Cosby in different articles. Him and R. Kelly. But they didn't stick because of the thing was going on Willie Allen when Willie Allen was that war movies were winning those awards, and Ronan Farrow came out with a talk about Woody Allen, and they said wait a minute, they didn't want to bring up too much because then people stopped talking about Woody Allen and Roman Polanski, all these other whites, they left it alone. So the Ray Rice thing happened, the cat call thing, but then they said get a black person to say it. Because we got protection. Then we can't be called racist. We can't be called anything. So Hannibal went out there, and the very next day, Matt Law had one of the white women on NBC. And I sat there, and that very next day, Mark Lamont Hill was interviewing Tommy Davidson. And Mark Lamont Hill brought it up, and Tommy Davidson said, I don't think Hannibal should have done that. Then you had, the Tina Fey and Amy Poehler was hosting the Emmys. They was talking about Bill Cosby. Then you had an avalanche of white folk started going on Bill Cosby. Bobcat Goldthwait, Chelsea Handler, Sarah Silverman. You even had Alan Thicke. The guy don't like ugly. He talked about Bill Cosby. He dropped dead of a heart attack a short time later. So, but the thing is that they went in on him. Then you had the late night comics going on him. But Seth Meyers, Jimmy Fallon stayed away from it because Bill Cosby is a regular on Jimmy Fallon. Now eventually Jimmy Fallon started going in on Cosby, but at first he didn't. It was David Letterman, then Stephen Colbert, Seth Meyers, that fat fag from England over there, the one that always singing car karaoke and shit. They all went in. Jimmy Kimmel. And then when they did it, black folks started saying something don't smell right. And then white people kept saying, black people just can't believe Cosby. A lot of them, they was analyzing the black community, and we got embarrassed. We don't like when people start throwing shit in our face. So black celebrities come out. Yeah, Beverly Johnson come out. And when Whoopi Goldberg tried to defend Bill Cosby and say, let's wait till we go to court, John Oliver wasn't even born here, went on Whoopi Goldberg. That Monday review, Whoopi Goldberg changed her tune. Jill Scott threw Cosby on the bus because she thought that would increase her record sales, but then she come running back when did she start getting some more facts. But Beverly Johnson also gave that cover to those white women. And then when people started questioning Beverly Johnson, she ran her ass and disappeared because she was pushing a book. You know, she ain't heard nothing from Beverly Johnson for 2 years. And I had told y'all that Roseanne X, Tom Arnold came to my Twitter trying to chat me like, well, Beverly Johnson was black. Some of the victims was black. I said, that don't mean shit. Y'all don't know the dynamic between black men and black women. And Beverly Johnson had a notorious history like Janet Dickinson of fucking around and lying. There were even women that said that Beverly Johnson was lying. They got proof, but the media just dismissed it. Now, I know a lot of y'all say y'all know this already. You guys be surprised some people don't know this. You'd be surprised how many people I get in the comment section say they don't watch the news and they didn't know about these things or these people. But Gloria Allred and her daughter Lisa Bloom knew there was always going to be that doubt because there were white people out here that didn't believe it. Or had trouble believing these women. All of them all had the same reaction. That's a hell of a coincidence. So you get that black chick that say she was on the Cosby Show, go out and put a wig on and throwing up the black pride and act like she down and crying and overacting. Then they go the young one did the same one, was Rudy's best friend on the show doing the same exact thing. And I'm like, they manipulating. Then they changed the laws to fit this case. But even though they changed laws, they was finding out a lot of these women's stories was inconsistent. They was throwing them out. And people said, why didn't Cosby yell? Every time he said he didn't do it, they put a lawsuit saying, he's calling us a liar. That's slander. That's why Cosby could come out and say what he wanted to say. Then they said, we get Cosby, we spot his wife or any of the females or males that defend him. Malcolm Jamal Warner one time said, why is Cosby being treated this way? But Malcolm Jamal Warner, he kind of has a, Keisha Napoleon was the only one that went out there from the Cosby kids and really stood by Cosby. And, Felicia Rashad did, but after a while, I think Bill told her to step back. Like Steve Harvey was defending Bill Cosby. Even though I got my issue with Steve Harvey, Bill told him to step back. He said, don't wear this. Don't let this get on you. Because Bill Cosby already knew. He said, I know what they're doing. I'm an older man now, and now they wanted to separate me from my money. They want to destroy my legacy. When Eddie Griffin said they don't let us leave clean, people got mad. Vlad TV, the Young Turks, David Packham over there, and over at this and that network, and that other one who just working at Young Turks now call himself a Republican. Everybody was making jokes about Cosby. Cosby still didn't have his day in court. That the judge did something he wasn't supposed to do. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but the things they was doing, you're not supposed to be doing. If you go back and listen to these white folk, left or right, but most of the left pushed this Cosby thing. Just like they did with John Conyers. Nancy Pelosi said, we don't care about his past. Right then and there, and Joy Reid them talked about it ever so briefly, and I'm saying, like, that they push when accuse black men of all these crimes, but they didn't because they didn't have the proof and they didn't want to come across as racist. So they went after all the white men that been doing accused of stuff. And I even said a lot of them white guys that do what they're accused of. A lot of the stuff they was going after, I'm like, it's kind of petty. This is shit you do when you're in grammar school. If y'all that fragile shit, man, nobody should be around y'all. But they made sure Cosby stayed the face of this. And you notice they never came into the black community, interviewed anybody in the black community. They interviewed black talking heads and black celebrities who are vulgar and tacky, would do anything for $1. That's why I'm praying that something happened to D.L. Hughley's son or D.L. Hughley. I'm praying. I know people say it's wrong, but D.L. was out there one of the people who gave white people cover. Y'all know how I feel about Hannibal and Dunn and Keenan and Larry Wilmore and Michael F. Dyson, but D.L., you talking about racism, but then all of a sudden you forget that racism exists in this matter. You had Dr. Boyce Watkins, who is now walking back a lot of what he said was out there talking crap. Jimmy J.J. Walker. You had a lot of black folks out there throwing Cosby under the bus because either they resented the fact that Cosby was wealthy, because Cosby was calling out behaviors or doing things they wish they can do, or they just didn't like him because he was a black man. And you have to understand, there are black people who don't like themselves. Now, I say all this to bring it back to Seth Meyers. Seth Meyers is friends with Judd Apatow. Seth Meyers have non-stop berated Cosby on his show. Non-stop. Well, last night, Seth Meyers and the cast of SNL thought they have a field day with Cosby and Kanye. But the thing that got me about the skit was Seth Meyers and Kenan Thompson as Cosby is that he lectured Cosby at the end like I'm this white man going to tell this old black man how he should respond, how he should act. And I thought the opposite in that was fucked up. But see, Kenan Thompson, he'll do anything for white acceptance. He should have been offended that in this sketch, you're going to have a white Jewish guy come in and lecture him about what he allegedly have done. But you got white guys right now in Hollywood who have molested kids, raped women, and y'all don't say shit about it. You got white men have killed cops, y'all don't say shit about it. You got white men have shot up malls, workplace. You got young white adults who shooting up video game competitions. Y'all say nothing about it. You had a white guy shoot a church. Y'all don't say nothing about it. He took his ass to a Burger King. But you want to lecture black men. You want to make mockery of black men. But when you have these black talking heads on TV and some of these black celebrities throwing their own under the bus, they feel emboldened. Diddy, T.I., 50 Cent, Snoop have no right to be critical of anybody for the damage they've done to our community. 20-something years, damn near 30-something years worth of damage these fuckers are engaged in. You talk about coolish behavior, sexist behavior. They did that. But to see this white dude do a skit and lecture Mr. Cosby in the skit and then make fun of his sight, make fun of him talking to black people, telling brothers and sisters to do the right thing, and then turn around and turn his words back against him when you shouldn't have, because those charges can't be proven. They're hearsay. He's going to sit there and say, all the lives you destroy, you should be ashamed of yourself. Why don't you die? It's one thing if you if you had another black person come in there or was visiting or if hell, I'm not gonna give nobody no ideas. I'm let me stop right there because they might incorporate it at some point. I ain't gonna do that. But the optics don't look right. It's like white daddies telling black dad, like a young white man is telling a black man. Let me give you a better example. It's like those white men who was 12 or those white boys who were 12 or 13 years old trying to call my grandfather by his name or call him a boy. That remind me of that scenario. White man who's younger can chastise and discipline or call a black man, but you sitting right there in jail with him. You in jail with him, but you're going to turn around and criticize. Don't you find that ironic? What are you in jail for? You're going to be critical. Who are you playing? Why did they put Harvey Weinstein in in that scenario? And he's going to walk. The media is giving all these white men a wide berth. I told y'all way last year. I said too many white guys making a perp walk. They're going to realize what they did. And that you saw last weekend, Democrats and Republicans, now they're talking about, well, we don't have proof, or we got to make sure fair due process. Cosby didn't get due process. A lot of hearsay. And Wendy Williams and the rest of them added that. You had Lisa Bonet's whole ass daughter, Zoe Kravitz, who was in diapers or wasn't even born. She wasn't even born when her mother was in the prime of her career. She was in diapers when the Cosby show went off, talking about Cosby got bad energy. Bad energy. You don't know Bill Cosby. Everybody got to speak about Cosby, but the people that work next to Cosby, try to defend him, they shut him up. The fans that work like Cosby or research or follow Cosby, they didn't even talk to. They talked to a certain group of people and they set out and they publicly destroyed this man's reputation. This is why I was upset when I saw them doing the same thing to Kanye. I said, before Kanye went in the White House, y'all was calling him Doug. Don Lemon, the same people that went after Cosby are the same ones that's talking about R. Kelly and Kanye and Chris Brown and many others. Remember how people was making fun of Floyd Mayweather? Well, he can't read. Well, since when did we make fun of somebody who can't read? Robert Polanski is not even in jail. They didn't take none of those awards Robert Polanski got all them years. But when they start taking Cosby and they start on the internet, they say, wait a minute, they take Cosby. Oh, let's take Robert Polanski honorary Oscar. We doing something. That's hypocrisy. Black folks should have said, we ain't spending no more money in Hollywood. We ain't watching more of your shows. Any black person get caught standing with them should be ostracized from the community. And you know what? The Republicans look good this week when they was calling out Don Lemon and them for their hypocrisy. The left, but black folk, we already knew the left was hypocrites. These are all so-called liberals. Where y'all? I'm waiting for the expose on Harvey Weinstein and all these other cats. But y'all make easy targets. Y'all these SNL and love making mockery of black people, especially black men. And when you got black men on the show and women participating in this, it says something about our people. But then again, these black folks are more angry about Cosby, but you didn't get angry about Tamir Rice being shot dead, or Mike Brown, or any other, or Trayvon, or any other blacks that been harmed. Y'all defending these white women and some of these black women who hoard themselves or basically just lying. They jumped on a bandwagon. Y'all treat them like special need kids. When Corey Feldman came out and said, hey, these people in Hollywood did Michael Jackson. They keep bringing it up. But when Corey Feldman said, no, he didn't do this. And Benjamin Lewis said it. Franz Roberto said it. Macaulay Culkin said it. You had all the people saying that Michael didn't do what he did. Y'all had no proof. But to this day, last month, you had Megyn Kelly, no, the month before last, Megyn Kelly brought it up. They said, well, Michael Jackson had these charges. He was acquitted. NBC would probably be not only a dinosaur if it wasn't Bill Cosby, seemed to be the main one leading this anti-Cosby rhetoric. And maybe they mad because people keep saying, yo, Cosby's trying about NBC. Ask yourself why when black men are pretty non-existent on these talk shows. If you do, they're gay and they're super coonish. Ask yourself why they won't interview any black man or black woman have a difference of opinion can hold their own. I ain't gonna lie. Part of me say I would love to go on these shows, but they won't let you talk. They're trying to make you like you're crazy. When Cosby spokesman went up there, they try to make you like crazy. But we've heard white spokesmen. You hear every day Sarah Huckabee lie and say some asinine shit. They don't dismiss her. Yes, I'm passionate about this shit because I'm tired of my people being manipulated, being used, and being mocked. So the other day when y'all said Kanye was embarrassment, yeah. To you worry about what white folk think. I wasn't thinking like that. I said, let me hear what Kanye got to say. And then you decide whether not what he said was true or not. But they won't do that. They throw our words and actions in our face. They don't do this to white people. Black comedians don't dare go there. They call us out. I mean, look how Tim Allen got mad because he could say, well, why can't we say nigger? George Lopez disrespected a black woman. Who defended him? Black people. Miley Cyrus used the black community. Who defended her? Some black people. Justin Timberlake was throwing shade at Kanye, at Jay-Z. Jay-Z never said, yo, dude, you gay, slow down. When they go to black high schools and colleges to pick our talent, they go for certain blacks they know they can manipulate and frighten. I usually don't say this, but I wish to God these Negroes that constantly participate in destroying their own community and the reputations of their own people get theirs in the end. I may be here to see it, I may not. It may not never happen to them. It may go on to somebody close to them. But I would love to see Kenan Thompson lose everything he got or have a tragedy. And then when they say today after Kenan Thompson, blah blah blah, I was laughing my ass off. And y'all can say I'm mean, that's mean spirit or low down. I'm hoping that Michael Eric Dyson get his in the end. It's Wendy Williams, Don Lemon, Larry Wilmore, Mark Lamont Hill, and many others. I'm praying that they get theirs in the end. Diddy, T.I., 50 Cent, Snoop. I'm praying they get theirs in the end. Because we sit back and we see white supremacy constantly coming at us, and we cowards. Y'all let a bunch of cowards be the face of the community. Those of you trolls come to my channel, voting down or leaving comments, go ahead. You're proving my point for me. Because there are people out here Now I'm doing videos, leave a comment saying, Harvey, no more I watch the media and watch they talk about Kanye and Cosby. I see your point. You guys don't realize you're helping me. Kanye is not a coon. Cosby is not a coon. Trust me, I know coons. Kenan Thompson's a coon. Wendy Williams, D.L. Hughley, Michael Dyson, those are coons. That other Negro on SNL was playing Kanye, he's a coon. Leslie Jones, she's a coon. Jimmy Walker is a coon. Tom Joyner, the coon. And many more out here. But you have a white man doing a sketch of Bill Cosby and you're going to lecture him in a sketch. Don't y'all see how that optics, like master got to tell the slave, you've been a bad slave. You've been bad. But Seth Meyers for years when he was on SNL, since he had his show, has been throwing shade at black men. And we let him get away with it. And they hide behind, well, I'm Jewish. Or I'm half Jewish. Or I'm a liberal. Or I'm gay. Or I got black friends. I ain't gonna lie, I would love to put these motherfuckers in a room somewhere and take turns with their ass. We the only group of people who allow people to fuck with us and we sit back and pray for our enemies. I'm not praying for these bastards. I want them over at the Young Turks, those who are in the partnership, the Young Turks. I pray to God they get what they deserve. Y'all let the Republicans look like geniuses and look like they was on a high horse saying, you guys talk about you open to people opinions and whatnot, but you went after and mock people and y'all use racial comedy and then people say, oh man, that's racist. You guys are too sensitive. But Keenan ought to be ashamed of himself and that other Negro on SNL, they ought to be ashamed of themselves of what they participated in last night. But this Cosby sketch, man, it was wrong. Camille is at home. She's grieving the loss. Remember, they just lost a child. Her husband's in jail on bogus charges. Lies, hearsay. They just lost a daughter. And you got these so-called Jews lecturing Cosby, taking a victory lap. Okay. At some point, when we in the black community gonna say enough is enough? And when are y'all gonna realize that these black rappers have done their dirty work? Remember, these are Jewish producers and executives, and these Arab and Indian producers, Asians, like, you guys go out there and rap and call each other niggas and bitches and hoes, and don't care who hears it. That has influenced our people for 2 generations, and people don't realize it. We are doing the dirt of white supremacists and don't realize it. But Seth Meyers, I peeped your game. You throw shade and high behind comedy at black people. And black folks validate my going on the show. The rotten racist bastard.